Jin Kim stood in front of the mirror in the crew preparation room of the Star Horizon spaceport. She adjusted her silver and blue uniform collar for the 10th time that morning. After 15 years as a flight attendant, 5 of them in space, she still made sure every detail was perfect. The Star Horizon was special. It wasn't just another space liner. It was the first joint project between SpaceX and Korean Air. The ship could carry 200 passengers from Earth to Mars in just 30 days, half the time of other ships. Today was its first commercial flight. Jin, you need to see this. Jae-ho Park, a younger flight attendant, rushed into the room holding his tablet. His usually neat black hair was messy, like he had been running his hands through it from excitement. Jin turned away from the mirror. What's wrong? Look at the final passenger list for first class. Jae-ho held out his tablet, his hand shaking slightly. Jin took the tablet and read the name at the top of the list. Her eyes widened. Elon Musk. That can't be right. It is. He booked the ticket just an hour ago. They say he wants to see how the ship performs on its first journey. Jin handed the tablet back to Jae-ho. This was unexpected. Everyone knew Elon Musk usually stayed on Mars these days, running his colonies and new companies. He rarely came to Earth anymore, and when he did, he used his private ships. Well, Jin said, straightening her uniform one last time, he's just another passenger. We'll treat him the same as everyone else. Jae-ho looked shocked, but he owns half the ship. And we own our professionalism, Jin replied. Now help me check the first-class kitchen supplies. The next 2 hours passed quickly as they prepared the ship for boarding. Jin kept herself busy, checking everything twice. The first-class cabin of the Star Horizon was beautiful, with large windows showing the busy spaceport outside. Each seat could turn into a comfortable bed, and the walls could become screens showing any view the passenger wanted. At exactly 9:00 a.m., the first passengers started arriving. Jin stood at the entrance, greeting each one with a warm smile. Most were business people or rich tourists, excited to be on the first commercial flight to Mars. At 9:45 a.m., 15 minutes before departure, Elon Musk arrived. Jin noticed something odd right away. He was wearing a plain black suit, which wasn't strange, but his walk seemed different. She had seen videos of Musk walking before. He usually moved quickly with energy. This man walked slowly, as if he was thinking about each step. "Welcome aboard the Star Horizon, Mr. Musk," Jin said, bowing slightly. Musk looked at her for a moment too long before speaking. "Yes, thank you. I am very excited to be here on this wonderful ship that I helped to build with my human hands." Jin's smile stayed perfect, but her mind noted the strange way he spoke. In all the interviews she had seen, Musk talked faster and used more complex words. Maybe he was just tired. She showed him to his seat, 1A, the best spot in first class. "Would you like something to drink before takeoff, Mr. Musk?" "Yes, I would like." He paused, looking at the drink menu for several seconds. "I would like coffee with milk and sugar and salt and pepper and maybe some ketchup." Jin blinked. "I'm sorry, sir, but we don't usually put those condiments in coffee. Would you prefer a regular coffee with milk and sugar?" No, I am Elon Musk. I drink special coffee because I am special." He waved his hand dismissively. "Bring what I asked." Something was definitely wrong. Jin had served many rich and famous people before, and even the strangest ones didn't act like this. She walked to the kitchen area where Jae-ho was preparing drinks. "Jae-ho," she whispered, "something's not right with Mr. Musk." "What do you mean? Is he being difficult?" "No, he's being weird. And not normal Elon Musk weird. Different weird." Before Jae-ho could respond, the captain's voice came through their earpieces. "Crew, prepare for takeoff in 5 minutes." Jin pushed her worries aside and focused on her job. She checked that all passengers were properly seated and their safety systems were active. When she passed Musk's seat, she noticed he was holding his tablet upside down while pretending to read it. The takeoff went smoothly. The Star Horizon's new engines were so good that passengers barely felt the ship leave Earth. Once they reached space, He-jin and Ji-ho began their regular service routine. Everything seemed normal for the first hour. Then He-jin noticed Musk standing up and walking toward the crew area. She stepped in front of him. "I'm sorry, sir, but that area is for crew only." "I own this ship," he said loudly. Several passengers looked up from their screens. "I need to check the engine room. It is a normal thing that I do." "Mr. Musk, even as an owner, you need special permission to enter the engine room. It's a safety rule." He leaned closer to her, and He-jin caught a strange smell, like metal and electricity. "Listen, female human flight attendant. I am your boss, and I demand to see the engines now." More passengers were watching now. He-jin kept her voice calm and professional. "Sir, please return to your seat. If you'd like to inspect the engine room, we can contact the main office and arrange it properly." Musk's face changed for a moment. Not like normal facial expressions, but like a TV with bad reception. He-jin was sure she saw his skin flicker, showing something silver underneath. "This is unacceptable," he shouted. "I will write a very bad review on Twitter. I mean X. The social media platform that I definitely still own." He-jin studied him carefully. In her 15 years of service, she had learned to read people very well. Everything about this man was wrong. His movement, his speech, his behavior. Even the way he blinked seemed mechanical, like he had to remember to do it. Other crew members were gathering now, drawn by the noise. Ji-ho stood beside He-jin, trying to calm the situation. "Mr. Musk, please, we can sort this out." But He-jin had made a decision. Too many things didn't add up. This wasn't just strange behavior. This was something else entirely. She thought about the ship's expensive new engine technology, about the strange way the man moved, about the silver she had seen under his skin. She stepped forward, looking directly into his eyes. "Sir, I don't believe you are Elon Musk." The cabin went silent. Passengers stared in shock. Ji-ho gasped beside her. "He-jin," he whispered. "You can't accuse a passenger like that." But He-jin stood her ground. Years of experience had taught her to trust her instincts. "I am willing to risk my job on this, sir. You are not who you claim to be, and you're trying to access restricted areas of the ship. I'm calling security." The man who claimed to be Musk stared at her for a long moment. Then he smiled. A smile that was too wide, with too many teeth. "Clever human," he said, his voice suddenly different, with a metallic echo. "Very clever." And then, right there in the first-class cabin of the Star Horizon, his whole body began to flicker like a broken hologram. The real emergency was about to begin. Chaos broke out in the first-class cabin. Passengers jumped from their seats, screaming as the fake Musk's image continued to flicker between human and something else. He-jin remained calm, moving quickly to press the emergency button on her uniform collar. "Everyone, please move to the back of the cabin now," she ordered, her voice clear and firm. Years of emergency training kicked in automatically. Ji-ho was already helping passengers move away from the creature. His hand shook, but his voice stayed steady as he directed people to safety. "This way, please." Quick but careful steps. The ship's security officer, Sang-mi Lee, arrived within 30 seconds. She was tall and athletic, wearing the black and silver uniform of Star Horizon's security team. Her hand rested on her stun weapon as she assessed the situation. "Status report," Sang-mi demanded, her eyes fixed on the flickering figure. "The passenger claiming to be Elon Musk is an imposter," He-jin explained quickly. "He tried to access the engine room. When confronted, his appearance began to malfunction." The creature stopped pretending. Its human appearance fell away completely, revealing a metallic body that looked almost liquid, like mercury. It stood 7 feet tall now, its surface reflecting the cabin's lights in strange patterns. Where its face should be, there was a smooth silver surface with 5 glowing blue spots arranged in a circle. "How did you know?" the creature asked He-Jin. Its voice sounded like several people talking at once, with a metallic echo. "Our research indicated this disguise was perfect." He-Jin stood her ground, even though her heart was racing. Perfect isn't the same as real. You got all the big things right but missed the small ones. Humans aren't perfect. That's what makes us human. Sang-mi moved forward, her stun weapon now drawn. "In the name of Earth space security, you are under arrest for attempted corporate espionage and identity theft." The creature made a sound like laughing metal. "Humans always think they're in charge. Let me show you how wrong you are." Suddenly, the creature's body stretched out like liquid metal, reaching toward the nearest control panel. He-Jin reacted instantly, grabbing a coffee pot from a nearby service cart and throwing the hot liquid at the stretching metal arm. The creature pulled back with a sharp musical sound of pain. "It doesn't like heat," He-Jin shouted to Sang-mi. The coffee heard it. Sang-mi fired her stun weapon, but the electrical blast seemed to make the creature stronger. Its body absorbed the energy, glowing brighter. "Thank you for the power boost," it said, its voice deeper now. "Your primitive weapons only make me stronger." The creature's body spread out across the ceiling like a silver web. Passengers huddled together at the back of the cabin, recording everything on their phones. Ji-ho stood in front of them protectively, holding up a serving tray as a shield. Captain Tadawon Cho's voice came through the ship's speakers. "Security breach detected in first class. Initiating emergency protocol Delta 7. The cabin's lights turned red, and metal shutters began closing over the windows. The creature laughed again. "Your security protocols can't stop me. I am technology far beyond your understanding. Once I reach the engine room and learn the secrets of your quantum drive, my people will finally have what we need to expand our empire." He-Jin's mind raced. The creature absorbed electricity, but didn't like heat. It was arrogant and looked down on humans. Maybe they could use that against it. "You're not as smart as you think," He-Jin said loudly. "You couldn't even act like a proper human. A child could have done better." The creature's glowing spots turned red. "How dare you? We spent years studying humans." "Really? Years? Then why didn't you know that Elon Musk hasn't owned Twitter, or X, for months? Why didn't you know how he actually talks? Why couldn't you even hold a tablet the right way up?" The creature's surface rippled with anger. It started to move toward He-Jin, its liquid metal body flowing across the ceiling. He-Jin spoke into her collar communicator. "Captain, can you turn up the heat in first class? Maximum temperature, right now." "Confirmed," Captain Cho replied. Heat increasing. The cabin temperature began to rise quickly. The creature's smooth surface started to bubble, and its movements became slower. You're trying to trap me," it said, its multiple voices becoming distorted. "No," He-Jin replied calmly. "We already have trapped you. Did you really think Earth's most advanced spacecraft wouldn't have defenses against alien intruders? We're not as primitive as you thought." The creature tried to move toward the door, but the heat was making its liquid metal body sluggish. Sang-mi pressed a button on her weapon, changing its setting. "Switching to thermal pulse," she announced. "Everyone close your eyes." A bright flash filled the cabin. When He-Jin opened her eyes again, the creature had partly melted, forming a silver puddle on the floor. It was still moving slightly, its surface rippling weakly. "Now, Ji-ho," He-Jin called out. Ji-ho rushed forward with a large service cart. Together, they scooped the semi-liquid creature into the cart's ice compartment. The cold instantly made it solid, freezing it in place. Sang-mi quickly sealed the compartment with a special containment field. Target secured. Security team to first class for prisoner transport. The cabin's temperature returned to normal, and the red lights turned off. Passengers began applauding. some of them still recording with their phones. He-jin straightened her uniform, which had gotten slightly messy during the chaos. Jai-ho, please start serving drinks to everyone. I think our passengers could use some refreshments. No coffee for our friend in the icebox, though. As things calmed down, Captain Cho's voice came through He-jin's personal communicator. He-jin, the real Elon Musk is calling from Mars. He saw everything through the passengers' live streams and wants to speak with you. He-jin looked at the frozen creature in the cart and then at the mess in the cabin. Tell him he'll have to wait a few minutes, Captain. I need to clean up first class before I take any calls, even from the real Elon Musk. Jai-ho laughed as he handed out drinks to the shaken but excited passengers. Only you would make an alien wait because you need to clean up, He-jin. Of course, she replied with a small smile. 5 years of space flight service, and I've never let my cabin stay messy. I'm not going to start now just because of some shape-shifting alien. As security officers arrived to take away the contained creature, He-jin picked up a fallen napkin from the floor. There would be lots of questions later, reports to fill out, and probably some interviews to give. But right now, she had a job to do. After all, the flight to Mars had only just begun. He-jin sat in the ship's security office, looking at the video screen showing the containment cell. The silver creature was fully frozen now, its metallic body stuck in a twisted shape like an abstract sculpture. Security officer Sang-mi Lee stood beside her, while Captain Ta-won Cho sat behind his desk, reviewing the incident reports. The creature is called a Proximan, Captain Cho explained, reading from his tablet. They're from a star system near Alpha Centauri. This is the third time they've tried to steal our quantum drive technology. Third time? He-jin asked, surprised. Why haven't we heard about the other attempts? Sang-mi crossed her arms. The company kept it quiet to avoid panic. The other 2 attempts were stopped before the shapeshifters could board any ships. This one got further than any before. The captain's screen lit up with an incoming call. The real Elon Musk's face appeared, looking serious but impressed. He was calling from his Mars office, with the red planet's surface visible through a window behind him. Ms. Kim, he said, nodding to He-jin, I've reviewed all the footage. Your quick thinking saved our most advanced ship and protected our quantum drive technology. How did you know it wasn't really me? He-jin sat straighter in her chair. It was many small things, sir. The way he walked was too careful, like someone following instructions. He didn't know how to hold a tablet properly. But mostly, he treated the crew like we were beneath him. The real you has always been known to talk to everyone, from engineers to cleaners, as equals. Musk smiled. Impressive observation skills, but now we have a bigger problem. Our security teams just found evidence that this Proximan wasn't working alone. The room went quiet. Captain Cho leaned forward. What do you mean? We believe there are more shapeshifters on board the Star Horizon, Musk explained. At least 2, maybe 3. They must have boarded separately, disguised as regular passengers. The one pretending to be me was just a distraction. He-jin thought about the passengers in her cabin. How can we identify them? We can't raise the temperature of the whole ship. It would harm the real passengers. Sang-mi stepped closer to the screen. Sir, what are they really after? The quantum drive plans are stored in a secure computer that can only be accessed from Mars. That's just it, Musk replied. We think they're not just after the plans. They want to hijack the entire ship. The Star Horizon's quantum drive is the only working prototype we have. If they can take control of it, they could reverse engineer it, Captain Cho finished. But they would need to access multiple control points at the same time. The engine room, the bridge, and the main computer core. He-jin stood up suddenly. The passengers who were recording everything on their phones. Some of them were very interested in filming the security panels and door controls, not just the alien. Musk nodded. Good thinking. Officer Lee, can you access the footage from the passengers' phones? Already working on it, Sang-mi said, typing quickly on her tablet. There, look at these 3 passengers. They all focused on filming different security points in the cabin. The screen showed 3 passengers, a businessman in an expensive suit, a young woman with a backpack, and an elderly man with glasses. All of them had been very active with their phones during the incident. I served them all drinks, He-jin said. The businessman ordered hot tea but never touched it. The young woman held her glass wrong, like she wasn't used to having fingers. And the elderly man, he hasn't blinked in any of this footage. Captain Cho pressed a button on his desk. Security teams, prepare for Protocol Omega. We have 3 suspected shapeshifters in the passenger area. Do not approach them directly. Wait for specific instructions. We need to be careful, Musk warned. If they realize we've identified them, they might try to take over the ship immediately. We need a plan. He-jin looked at the passenger manifest on her tablet. Sir, I have an idea. But it's a bit unusual. Miss Kim, you just caught an alien pretending to be me by noticing it held a tablet wrong, Musk said. I think we're well past usual. He-jin explained her plan. It was simple but clever. They would use the shapeshifter's own arrogance against them. 20 minutes later, He-jin walked through first class with a drink cart, announcing, "Special flight safety demonstration for all passengers. Attendance is mandatory per New Earth space regulations." The 3 suspicious passengers tried to avoid coming, but He-jin was politely insistent. "I'm sorry, but after the earlier incident, everyone must attend. Captain's orders." Soon, all the passengers were gathered in the main cabin area. He-jin stood at the front, with Jae-ho beside her holding a tray of drinks. "Thank you all for coming," He-jin began. "Today's safety demonstration is about emergency scenarios. For example, what to do if your fellow passenger turns out to be a shape-shifting alien." The 3 suspicious passengers stiffened slightly. "First rule," He-jin continued calmly, "is to notice the small things, like how real humans need to blink." The elderly man suddenly realized he hadn't blinked in hours, or how humans know the natural way to hold things. The young woman looked down at her awkwardly positioned hands, or how humans react to heat. Jae-ho activated the hidden heating panels under the 3 suspects' seats. The businessman's expensive suit began to ripple strangely. "Now, Officer Lee," He-jin called out. Sang-mei and her security team emerged from hidden positions, carrying advanced thermal weapons. The 3 shapeshifters tried to run, but the heat was already affecting them. Their human disguises melted away, revealing their true silver forms. "Clever humans," the businessman shapeshifter said, his voice distorting. "But you're too late. We've already transmitted the ship's security codes to our fleet." He-jin smiled. "No, you haven't. Because the Wi-Fi you've been using is a closed system. Your messages never left the ship. That was the first thing I checked after we caught your friend." The shapeshifters realized they had been tricked. They tried to fight back, but the security team was ready. 3 precise thermal blasts later, and 3 more silver puddles were safely contained in cooling units. As the regular passengers applauded again, Captain Cho's voice came over the speakers. "All threats neutralized. Course to Mars continuing as planned. Ms. Kim, please resume normal service." He-jin straightened her uniform and turned to Jae-ho. "Well, you heard the captain. Let's get these passengers their drinks. And this time," she added with a small smile, "I think everyone will want them served hot." 3 hours after capturing the shapeshifters, He-jin was helping passengers settle back into their normal routine when the ship's lights flickered. Captain Cho's voice came through her earpiece, speaking quietly and urgently. "He-jin, please come to the bridge immediately. Don't tell anyone where you're going." She found a reason to hand her serving duties to Jae-ho and made her way to the bridge. When she arrived, she found Captain Cho, Sang-mei, and several senior officers looking worried at their control screens. "We have a problem," the captain said. "The shapeshifters we caught weren't the only ones. They managed to send a short message before we stopped them. Sang Mei brought up a holographic display showing 3 large ships approaching the star horizon. They were silver, like liquid metal formed into smooth shapes, with no visible windows or doors. Proximan warships, Sang Mei explained. They'll reach us in 20 minutes. Our weapons won't work against their shields, and they're faster than us, even with our quantum drive. What do they want? He-Jin asked, though she already knew the answer. Captain Cho pressed a button, and a new voice filled the bridge, metallic and echoing, like the shapeshifters, but deeper and more powerful. Humans of the Star Horizon, the voice said. I am Commander Val of the Proximan Fleet. You have captured 4 of our operatives. Return them to us, surrender your ship, and we will let your passengers live. You have 15 minutes to decide. The message ended. He-Jin looked at the worried faces around her. They'll kill everyone either way, won't they? She asked. The captain nodded. Once they have the quantum drive technology, it won't leave any witnesses. We've seen how they operate before. He-Jin walked to the main window, watching the 3 silver ships grow larger. They reminded her of the shapeshifters, smooth, perfect, and completely inhuman. Then she had an idea. Captain, she said, turning around. The shapeshifters copy things perfectly, right? But they don't understand what they're copying. That's why we caught them. Yes, Sang Mei agreed. They focus on physical details but miss the deeper meaning of human behavior. Then maybe we can use that against their ships too, He-Jin suggested. They're too perfect. Real things have flaws, mistakes, random patterns. What if we acted so human that their perfect systems can't understand us? The captain leaned forward. What exactly are you suggesting? He-Jin explained her plan. It was risky and very unusual, but they had nothing to lose. The captain listened, then smiled for the first time since the warships appeared. It's crazy, he said, but that's exactly why it might work. Officer Lee, get your security team ready. He-Jin, you'll lead this operation. The next 10 minutes were very busy. When Commander Val sent another message, Captain Cho answered it. We accept your terms, he said. We'll transfer our prisoners to you, but we have a strict safety protocol for prisoner transfers. We must follow it exactly, or the containment units might fail. The Proximan commander's voice showed no emotion. Proceed, but any trick will result in immediate destruction of your vessel. He-Jin put her plan into action. She had the security team bring the 4 contained shapeshifters to the cargo bay. Then she did something very strange. She started treating the transfer like a first-class service operation. She arranged the containment units on serving carts, complete with tablecloths and proper place settings. She had Jeho put flowers in small vases next to each unit. The security team stood at attention, but she made them wear serving aprons over their uniforms. When the Proximan ship extended its docking tube, He-Jin was ready. She switched on her service smile and activated the cargo bay's speakers to play smooth jazz music. The Proximan soldiers who entered were like larger versions of the shapeshifters, tall silver figures with multiple glowing spots for eyes. They stopped in confusion when they saw the scene before them. Welcome aboard the Star Horizon, He-Jin said cheerfully. We hope you'll enjoy your prisoner transfer experience today. Please note that all containment units must be returned to their full upright position during transport. The Proximan soldiers looked at each other in confusion. This wasn't in any of their combat protocols. We are here to take the prisoners, one of them said uncertainly. Of course. But first, would you like to hear about our special offers? All prisoner transfers include a complimentary beverage and a chance to win free tickets to Mars. The Proximan's perfect military formation started to fall apart as they tried to process what was happening. Their systems were designed to handle human military responses, not customer service. Stop this nonsense, their leader demanded. Give us the prisoners now. I apologize, but I'll need to see some identification first. It's company policy. Also, would you be interested in joining our frequent prisoner transfer program? Members get special benefits. The Proximan soldiers were becoming visibly agitated. Their perfect silver surfaces started to ripple with confusion. They had studied human military tactics for years, but nothing had prepared them for an enthusiastic service industry professional. Meanwhile, Sangmi's security team was quietly moving into position, using the Proximan's confusion as cover. The alien soldiers were so focused on trying to understand He Jin's bizarre behavior that they didn't notice they were being surrounded. Now, before we proceed with the transfer, I need to inform you about our cancellation policy. He Jin continued, pulling out a very long form. Please pay special attention to Section 27B regarding the proper handling of frozen shapeshifters during Mercury's retrograde. Enough, the Proximan leader shouted. We will take the prisoners by force. I'm sorry, but taking prisoners by force violates our terms of service. Would you like to speak to my supervisor? That was the signal. Sangmi's team activated hidden gravity generators in the cargo bay. The Proximans, whose liquid metal bodies rely on precise gravitational conditions, suddenly found themselves pulled in 5 different directions at once. Security teams, now, Sangmi ordered. The confused and disoriented Proximan soldiers couldn't fight back effectively. Within minutes, they were all contained in cooling units, just like their shapeshifter spies. On the bridge, Captain Cho used the captured soldiers' command codes to send a virus to the Proximan warships. Their perfect systems, designed to fight traditional battles, had no defense against random human customer service protocols. One by one, their computers crashed. This is impossible. Commander Val's voice came through, breaking up. How did you defeat our elite forces with paperwork and jazz music? That's the problem with being perfect, He Jin replied, straightening her uniform. You never learn to deal with the weird, wonderful, completely illogical things that make us human. Now, would you like to hear about our special discount on group bookings? The Proximan ships retreated, leaving their soldiers behind rather than try to understand human service industry practices. As they disappeared into deep space, Captain Cho turned to He Jin. You just saved our ship by confusing aliens with customer service, he said, shaking his head in amazement. I don't even know what to put in my report. He Jin smiled. Just right that we provided excellent service, as always. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to first class. It's almost time for the dinner service, and after all this excitement, I'm sure our passengers are hungry. 1 month after the Proximan incident, the Star Horizon landed safely on Mars. He Jin stood at the exit door, helping passengers disembark. Many of them stopped to thank her, not just for the excellent service, but for saving their lives with her quick thinking and unusual tactics. The story of how she had defeated alien invaders with customer service protocols had spread across Earth and Mars. News channels called it the first-class incident. Some passengers had recorded everything on their phones, and the videos had gone viral across the solar system. As the last passengers left, He Jin began her final cabin check. Ji-ho walked beside her, helping to collect any forgotten items. I still can't believe you confused an entire alien fleet with paperwork, Ji-ho said, picking up a magazine someone had left behind. The military has studied the recordings. They're creating new defense protocols based on your methods. He Jin straightened a crooked seat cushion. The Proximans tried to be too perfect. They didn't understand that humans are complicated. Sometimes our strange habits and random behaviors are our greatest strength. A message came through their earpieces. Hey Jin Kim and Ji-ho Park, please report to the Mars Central Conference Room. Mr. Musk is waiting. They found Elon Musk in a large room with windows overlooking the Martian landscape. The red planet's surface stretched out below them, dotted with domed cities and research stations. Captain Cho and Sangmi were there too, along with several important-looking people in business suits. Ms. Kim, Musk said, standing to greet her, we've been reviewing your performance during the Proximan crisis. Your actions didn't just save the Star Horizon. They gave us valuable insights into our alien visitors. He pressed a button, and a holographic display showed the contained Proximan soldiers, still in their holding units at a secure facility. "We've learned more about their society from your encounter than we did in years of official contact," Musk continued. "They're so focused on perfection and control that they don't know how to handle human unpredictability, especially in the service industry. That's why customer service is so challenging," Hajin said. "Every day is different. Every person is unique. You have to be ready for anything." Musk smiled. "Exactly. Which is why we're creating a new department, Interstellar Passenger Relations and Security. We need people who understand both customer service and security. People who can spot when something isn't right, who know how to handle unexpected situations." He handed Hajin a tablet showing her new job offer. The title read, Director of Interstellar Passenger Relations and Security. "You want me to train others to do what I did?" Hajin asked, reading through the details. "Not just that," Captain Cho said. "We want you to help develop new security protocols that use human unpredictability as a defense. The Proximans aren't the only aliens out there who don't understand how we think." Sang-me stepped forward. "My security teams are good at fighting, but we need people who can solve problems without violence. People who can think creatively under pressure." Hajin looked at the job offer again. The salary was excellent, and she would be in charge of her own department. But something didn't feel quite right. "Can I make one request?" she asked. "Of course," Musk replied. "I want to keep working flights sometimes, maybe 1 or 2 per month. Not just sitting in an office." She smoothed her uniform. "I'm good at spotting problems because I'm out there, serving passengers, noticing the small details. I don't want to lose that." Musk looked surprised, then pleased. "You know, that's exactly the kind of human thinking that the Proximans don't understand. They would never choose to do extra work just to stay connected to their original job." "Then it's decided," Captain Cho said. "You'll be our new director, but you'll also be our most overqualified flight attendant." Jai-ho raised his hand nervously. "What about me?" Hajin turned to him. "Well, I'll need an assistant director, someone who can help train new staff, and who knows how to keep calm when aliens attack." "Interested?" Jai-ho's face lit up. "Really? I mean, yes, absolutely." The meeting continued as they discussed plans for the new department. They would train space crews to be more observant, to trust their instincts when something seemed wrong, and to use human creativity as a defense against alien threats. Later that evening, Hojin stood at the window of her new Mars apartment, watching the sun set over the red landscape. Her phone buzzed with a message from Earth Space Command. The Proximans had requested formal peace talks. They had decided that trying to steal human technology was too risky. Humans were too unpredictable, too creative, and their customer service representatives were terrifyingly efficient. Hejin smiled as she changed into her sleek clothes. Tomorrow she would start setting up her new department, but first, she had one more thing to do. She took out her tablet and began writing. "Welcome to the Interstellar Passenger Relations and Security Training Program. Lesson 1. Why the customer isn't always right, especially if they're a shape-shifting alien." In the secure holding facility below Mars City, the captured Proximans were still trying to understand how they had been defeated by a flight attendant with a service manual and a smile. They had studied human warfare for years, but no one had warned them about human customer service representatives. And somewhere in deep space, Commander Val was adding a new warning to the Proximan military database. Caution. Human service industry professionals are to be considered a Class 1 threat. Approach with extreme caution. Do not, under any circumstances, ask to speak to their supervisor.